Hi, welcome to our next video on SQL. And we're going to look at SQL in Delphi. I'm looking at the November 2018 paper, question 2 on SQL. You can find this question paper on Microsoft Teams in the file section. So I advise you to read the question before we carry on. The question pertains to a LAN fanatics group. We have two tables. The first table is table players, and the fields are player ID, name, email, date of birth. And they tell us that player ID is our primary key. The second table is table games, game index, game date, player ID, duration, and score. And our primary key here is game index. They also tell us that the player ID field has been used to link the two tables, which means that this is our primary key, be linked to the foreign key. We're going to scroll down to the GUI, and this is what you will see in Delphi. And we're going to write SQLs behind all these buttons. The first one is 2.11, show all players. Let's scroll down to 2.11, and let's read what the question wants. All the fields must be displayed for all the players in the table players. The records must be displayed in ascending order according to the name field. All the fields, we're going to use select star. There's the name of the table from the table. And for ascending, we're going to use order by. So if we write the SQL down for this, we're going to say select star. That's for all the fields from table players. Order by means sort name. By default, it will sort in ascending order. We're now going to go to 2.12. Before we go there, I should take this into Delphi. So we're now going to retype this. We're going to copy this. You can use Control C. And then we're going to get into Delphi. Okay, in Delphi, this is the GUI. And if we double click on the GUI, we end up in 2.11. And we've typed in the SQL in Word, so we're just going to paste. So we can now run this. And hopefully this should work. I'm just waiting for my GUI to come through. It's a little slow. Finally, it's come up. And if I click on 2.11, we can see all our fields from the table. We're now going to go to question 2.12. It says display the name and date of birth for all the players born in September. So I just want to highlight September. So the good thing is both these fields are from the same table called table players. So we can write our SQL as select name, date of birth from table players. Now because they say born in September, we're going to use the month function and say where month of date of birth is equal to 9 because September is our 9th month. We're going to copy this and we're going to take it into Delphi 2.12 and I'm going to say paste, Control V. It's gone to another line. Using my backspace, we can move that back up. And we're ready to run the GUI. Much quicker this time thanks to cache memory. And if I click on 2.12, I have the name and the date of birth of everyone born in September. We're on 2.13, which says display the average duration of the games played each day in a new field called average duration. Now, trying to understand this question, we want to select the game of the date. Now, average duration, we're going to use an alias. And the name of the alias is going to be average duration. They also want us to round. So remember, we're going to use our round function. And we're taking this information out from table games. So if we quickly get into this code, we're going to say select game date, average duration. And we're going to use a round function. So it's round, 1 for 1 decimal place as the alias given, average duration from table games. Now, because we're finding the average per day, we're going to use a group by to group the date. So we're going to say group by game date. We're going to take this now into Delphi. Let's copy, Control C, going into Delphi, going to 2.13, and we're going to say paste. And once again, I moved it. Just going to move that back and that back, and we're going to run this. Okay, the GUI has come up, 2.13, and you can see the game date and the average duration. We're now going to move on to 2.14. 2.14 wants us to display the name of the player and the highest score that the player obtained in any game so far in a field called highest score. Now the name of the player is sitting in table players and the scores are sitting in table games. So we need to link both the tables to be able to achieve this. So we're going to start off and we're going to say select name, comma, the highest score, we use the function max as highest score, that's our alias, from the two tables, table players and table games. Now you don't have to do this, but I'm using an alias. So we have a short name for the table. Table players will be known as P, table games will be known as G. To link the tables, we're going to say where P, remember P is for table players, dot player ID, that's our primary key, is equal to G, that's for table games, dot player ID. So this code will link both the tables, which we've done. Returning to the question, it wants us to display the name of the player and the highest score that the player obtained in any game. So we need to use a group by function. The reason for the group by function is we're looking at each player, doesn't matter for which game. So we're going to group by name. As you can see, group by name, and that will be able to achieve this. We're going to bring it, just want to take this one up. Okay, we're going to copy this and now place this into Delphi. Going to 214 and I'm going to say control paste, and I just want to take this up. Okay, so we're saying select name, maximum score, that's the highest score as the alias from both the tables, that's to link our tables, and we are grouping by name. So we're done with 2.14. We're now going to go to 2.15. In 2.15, it's telling us to add a new game. That's an insert with the number 76 as game index to the table games table. The game was played by the player with player ID on the 24th December 2017. The player scored 6,655 points and the game lasted 250 minutes. So for us to be able to achieve that, we're going to use the insert function, and we're going to say insert into table games, and we have the values which are given. If we quickly scroll to the table, we can look at the order. We have game index, game date, player ID, duration, and score. So we need all those values so that we can insert that into our table. I'm going a little too far down. So we're saying insert into table games, values 76. Then we have the date of birth. And I could be wrong. Let me quickly check that out. Sorry, that's not a date of birth, when it was played. Then we followed by HM008, which is your player ID. Then we got 250, which is your time. And we have 6655. To understand, there's the table. 76 is our game index as stated. There's our game date that was given, 24th December 2017. Then we have HM008, which is your player ID. 250 is your duration, and 6654 will be the score. So you'll notice that the values are in order of the fields in the table. Thank you. I'd like you to try out this question on your own, and let's see if you can remember the SQLs. There is a second part of the question, 2.2, which is not pertaining to SQLs, but code construct, which we've done last year, and it will be good revision for you. Thank you.